Hello?
Hello?
Hi, who's that? Is that Uma or Luna?
Uma.
Uma. Hi, Uma. I can't see you. I just see black.
I can see you too. I just can't.
Okay, here, hold on. Can you see me now? Okay. There we go. Let me just open this up for a second here. All right. Hi, Uma. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
这是英语的，还能说点别的吗？
All right. So yesterday we did chapters 1 to 4. So we're continuing today with 5 to what? 8, right? 5 to 8. So let's just wait 1 minute just so everybody has a chance to come on here, and then we'll start. One moment here. Luna, can you see me?
Hello,
Luna.
Teacher Lion.
Hi, Luna. Can you see me? Oh, there we go. Okay. Good. Good. So who are we missing then?
Elisa.
Where's Elisa?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Do you either Uma or Luna, do you know Elisa? Not really, right?
Yes, we know.
Oh, you know her.
Yes, we know
Okay.
her.
All right. Well, let's just begin then. So yesterday we did sort of some introduction stuff. So if you have any questions about certain words that we use, yeah, yes, Uma.
I don't know why couldn't Jack and Annie take the story they came for? I don't know what the sentence means.
Well, okay, that's a good place to start. So why couldn't Jack and Annie take the story they came for? What was the story they came for? Remember, at the beginning of the book, Jack and Annie are told that they're going back in time to get a story, right?
Yes.
Do you remember what was the story?
Serpent's Magna.
Serpent's Magna, right? And what's the problem with taking the story now? What's the problem with taking the story now? Yes, Uma.
The problem is Brother Michael has not finished the book yet.
So that's the answer. So sorry, my dog is in the room here. Yeah, that's the answer. So the answer is, why couldn't Jack and Annie take the story they came for? Because brother, who is it? Patrick. Did you say brother Patrick or Michael, Uma?
Michael.
Right, brother Michael is not finished making it yet, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's the reason why they can't take it. They can't take it with them. But we know there's later in this story. There's a turn. There's a twist, because he is here. Excuse me. Let me just get my dog out of this room here. It's making noise. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. 1 second. I'll be right back. Mitzi, stop it.
下次可以看看他的走。
Okay. Sorry about my mom's dog was making noise there. So okay. So yeah.
You ask your dog.
Pardon me?
Next time you can show us your dog.
Oh, okay. It's a small dog. It's a puppy. It's very aggressive. It was eating a water bottle. Yeah. So, all right. So, this is a strange question. What did the flocks of gulls crying out sound like? You notice that there's flocks of gulls, seagulls, right? They were crying out in the. Okay, you know, Uma. What did it sound like?
It sounds like screams.
Yeah, it sounded like screams. Very good. Very good. So how would you imagine that would sound like? Like a human scream?
Mm,
Probably, right?
yes, probably.
probably a human scream. Okay. All right. I'll ask Luna. What did Jack see out at sea? What did Jack see out at sea?
What is about this question?
What is, sorry? What is the question?
What did Jack see out at sea?
I know this question means.
Okay, you can explain it to, do you want to explain it to Uma or to Luna?
Yes. They see Viking ships.
Yes, yes, they did see Viking ships. Yeah. What does it mean, Uma?
It means what did Jack see on the rocky cliff?
When he looked out.
Yes.
When he looked out at the ocean. And you said, Luna said you saw pirate ships, right? A ship was outlined against the sky. Two smaller ships. A ship came into view. Their bright sails were filled with wind. Their serpent prows blazed in the new sunlight. So they were Viking ships, right? So that's what he saw. According to the book, they had prows like Viking ships, right? So they must have been Vikings. They must have been Vikings. Okay. So here's an interesting question. The Vikings, when they were in their boats, they would often, it would be probably like either in the small case there would be 4 Vikings, in a big case there would be up to like 32 Vikings. When they had their sails down and they would row, they would use oars, big oars, and they would row the boat with a lot of power. They were very strong, and they would sit on top of something. Does anybody know what they would sit on top of? This wasn't in the book. Yes, Uma?
They would sit on boxes.
Yes, boxes. And what was inside the boxes?
Things, but I don't know what.
It was their personal belongings, right?
Oh, right.
So what stuff that belonged to them?
In the book. I think it is in the book.
Yeah, what does it say in the book?
I need to find it.
Okay. Oh, Elise is here. Okay, take your time. Just it's interesting because, well, they didn't have iPads and they didn't have cell phones and they didn't have any stuff like that. What did they have? What would a Viking bring with him or her? It would be mostly men. What do you think, Uma?
I just know what pirates bring.
What did pirates bring? Maybe there's similarity.
A compass.
A compass, okay. Maybe one of them, hi Elisa, maybe one of them brought a compass, but it wouldn't be everybody. But it's hard to say like what belongs to them. They're probably their weapons. Their weapons, maybe food.
Swords.
Yeah. Their swords, that sort of thing. Their clothes, the change of clothes, that sort of thing, right? So, okay. But it's an interesting question. We could Google it. We could Google it. Let me pull that up right now. Hold on. Let me just go to here and I'll say, what did Vikings carry in their ships? Oh, they probably had currency too. So some sort of money. Let's see. Well, we're getting no response here. Here we go. We have to do more research. We'll save it for next time. I was just curious if everybody knew that. So that was good that you knew that. Okay. So again, I'll ask Elisa. Elisa, are you there?
What?
Elisa, I'm just asking if Elisa's there. Elisa, are you there? Oh, there you go.
Lisa has just waken up.
Oh, she's waking up. Okay. All right, we'll let her wake up. Okay. Why couldn't Jack and Annie take the book? Well, this is another same question we asked before. It's the same question that we asked before, essentially. Why couldn't Jack and Annie take the book? I'll ask Luna. Luna, why couldn't Jack and Annie take the book?
Because Brother Michael don't finish the book.
Okay, hold on. Let's look at your grammar there. Let's look at your grammar there. Because Brother Michael don't finish the book. What's the problem with your? That's the right answer. But what's the problem with your grammar? It has to do with this word right here. It has to do with that word. How would we change that to make it grammatically correct? What do you think?
No.
Oh, let Luna. Hold on, Uma. Hold on. Let Luna go. Go on, Luna.
Haven't finished.
Right. Because Brother Michael hasn't finished, right? Hasn't finished, right? So we're gonna go underline here too. Finish the book. Okay. Good. Why didn't Jack climb down the rope? Why didn't Jack climb down the rope? Okay, we have two. Okay, Uma.
Because they saw the Viking ships and they want to help the monks, so they climb back.
Right. So because they saw so say that one more time.
Because they see the Viking ships, so they want to help the monks, so they climb back the rocky.
So they saw the Viking ships, and if they climb down the rope, remember what did they say to them? They advised them not to use the stairs, right?
Yes.
That was later. So the rope would be the same thing. So they saw the Viking ships, and they wanted to warn the monks, and so they didn't climb the rope.
They used the rope to climb up a little bit, but then they didn't use it.
Right. They used the rope to climb up a little bit, but then
They're so
didn't use it. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So. All right, so we're going to slow down here a little bit. So let's see. What does chapter 6 say? Elisa's sleeping here. Elisa, if you'd rather sleep, that's okay with me. If you don't want to be in class, you can always come back later. But anyway, Luna, well, let's ask you to read. What does questions say here? What does it say in chapter 6? What does the first question say on chapter 6? Who
did Jack and Annie want to warn about the Vikings?
Well, who was it? We've already talked about this. Who was it, Luna?
Monks.
The monks, right? The monks. Why do they need warnings?
Because Viking ships would take monks to be
slaves, right. The good question is, why didn't the monks learn how to defend themselves, right? That's a good question. Why didn't they learn martial arts or how to fight with swords or something like that? Like, they should have learned some skills, or maybe they should have hired a military to protect them, because they were completely unprotected, right? And that way they were vulnerable to the Vikings, who would just come in and exploit them and take them as slaves. So that's terrible. But it's an interesting question. Why didn't they protect themselves? Why do you think they didn't protect themselves? Anybody have any ideas? Why were they so vulnerable to the Vikings? Why were they so open to being hurt by the Vikings?
Because the Vikings are too scary and they kill many people, so they were scared of them.
Yeah, the Vikings were just too scared, right? Scary. Okay. All right. What covered the island like a blanket? Oh, this one's pretty easy.
I think
这句话的
covered the island.
What covered the
I
island?
think it is the fog blanket the whole island.
Yeah, the fog. So have you ever seen a picture of that where a fog, so if you have fog covering island, let's see what that looks like.
I don't see it.
So do you see that? Wow, that's kind of cool. So those are steps down. Whoa, those look like scary steps. Scary steps, but there's fog. So there's an island. It's being covered by fog. Interesting. Interesting. All right. I'm just curious what it looked like. Okay. So it was fog that covered the whole. That was fog that covered the whole blanket. As Jack and Annie climbed up the face of the cliff, clouds began to cover the sun. When they reached the top, a fog had almost hidden the serpent ships. So the fog not only covered the island. Run, cried Annie. The fog had blanketed the whole island, but it also covered the serpent ships and even the sun, right? So
Yes.
it was covering everything. It was covering everything. So, all right. Where were the monks going to hide? Where were they going to hide? All right, Yuma knows. I want to see more hands.
They have a secret hiding place, so they will hide in the cave.
Right, that sounds kind of strange. I wonder why the Vikings couldn't find them.
They're like, I don't know.
They were like what?
I think they're like ninjas.
Why do you think they're like ninjas?
Because ninjas do things in a cave.
Yeah, okay. So maybe in some ways they're like ninjas. So they said, in the book it says, quote, gather the books and hide. The monks first ran into the library. Brother Patrick turned to Jack and Annie. We have a secret hiding place, a cave on the other side of the island, he said. You can come with us, but I am not certain you will be safe. So he tells Jack and Annie right off the bat that they won't be safe. What did Jack and Annie do next? What does Jack and Annie say or do? Do you remember how they respond to that? After being told that they won't be safe?
I think they say, Jack say, don't worry, we are going to try to go home.
Home, right. They're going home. They're not going to stick around. They're not going to stay on the island.
And Jack said the Vikings will climb them. Then how do we get down, said Jack. And Brother Patrick told them where to go.
What did he tell them? What did he tell them?
That was that Brother Patrick, pointing at the cliff's edges, are two large rocks. A path between those rocks can take you down to the shore. Then you can walk around to your boats.
So there's a path by rocks. So I imagine there's like some kind of split or chasm, some two rocks there. Then there's a path, and then the path goes down to where you can get on your boat. That way you don't take the stairs, because if you take the stairs, you're gonna get what? You're gonna run into the Vikings, right? If you take the stairs. So that's what he's trying to get them to avoid the Vikings. Then if they hit the Vikings, they're gonna get killed. So why did Brother Michael give his unfinished book to Jack and Annie? All right, Luna. We lost Elisa, but she was not very. Looks like she was sleeping anyway.
In a very small part, my brother Michael said it is better that the world should have some of its sense known at all, just in case.
Remember, he says wait. He calls out wait. came a thin voice as Jack and Annie turned to run. It was Brother Michael. He hobbled over to them, holding out his book of Irish tales. Take it, are you sure? Jack asked. Please, he said. It's better than as you said. It's better that the world should have something more than nothing. So that's what he said. So that was pretty cool. So he gives Jack the tale, which is pretty interesting. Now Jack has a big responsibility, not to lose them, not to get them destroyed by the Vikings, and what else? So to preserve them through history, right? So that now Jack is now responsible. So does anybody have any idea what Jack does with them? What does Jack do with these tales? Does he bring them back? Hi, Elise.
Yeah.
Elise is back. Okay. All right. So what does he do, Uma?
Jack put the book back in his bag.
Jack put the book back in his bag, right? And then okay. Does he bring it? Well, we'll talk about that later. Okay. And then what does anybody know what his tales were about? What was he talking about in his Irish tales? What was he talking about?
I can't remember it, but I know it.
So they were just stories, right? They were stories. I don't know. The book doesn't really discuss it. But it talks about how he made them. What did it say about how he made them? How he made this book? I mean, it took him his whole life to make the book, right? What else, Uma? Yeah. Uma, go ahead.
You can make a book by sheepskin, goose quill paint, and to make a paint, you can use earth and plants.
Right. So you can use all that stuff. Right. Okay. All right. So, here's an interesting question. How did Annie get the monks' attention? Well, what are we talking about? Where are we talking about getting a monk's attention? At what point in the story does Annie try to get the monk's attention?
Oh, I know.
All right, Uma, go ahead.
And he said, run.
What else did she say?
And Jack said, Vikings.
Jack said Vikings, right?
And Jack said again, the Vikings are coming. And Brother Patrick's.
But do you remember? Yes. But do you remember the part of the story where she yanked the bell rope and it goes dong, dong, and then she warned the monks so that they can prepare themselves for safety, right?
Yes.
She warned them because they were preparing themselves for safety. So she rang the bell. That's how she got their attention. She rang the church bell and said, basically, you gotta run. You have enemies coming at you here. So that was where it was. Okay. So last question before we take a break here. What did Brother Michael give Jack and Annie, or why? I'm sorry. We already asked this question. Let's see. Elisa, are you there? Are you awake? Are you alert? I guess the answer is no. Okay. Why did Brother Michael give Jack and Annie the book? If you're very sick or you don't want to do the class, you don't feel obligated to come to class. You don't have to come to class. It's optional. I know you pay for it, but it's up to you to come. So, all right. Why did Brother Michael give Jack and Annie the book? Okay, Luna, we'll go to you. Luna.
Okay. Because Brother Michael said it is better that the world should have some of its sand.
Well, right. Okay. How would you put that in your own words? If you put that in your own words.
What? I don't.
Rather
So it's better that I'll help you. So it's better that we preserve the document than have the Vikings destroy it, right?
Yes.
yes.
Vikings destroy it. So that's another way to say the same thing. So okay. All right. So we're gonna take a 2-minute break. So take a 2-minute break, get a glass of water or whatever you need to do, come back, and then we'll see you then, okay?
Okay.
All right. See you in 2 minutes. Bye-bye.